European car manufacturers have not really had a very great time in India, and they have been very late to the SUV party or the crossover party as well. And now with the dynamics favoring the crossover, small crossover body shape in a big way, Skoda is trying to capitalize on that trend by launching the Kushaq that you see right behind me. It is going to lock horns directly against the Kia Seltos and Hyundai Creta. Does it have the value proposition to pull customers in? Let's drive the car and try and find the answer to that question. Skoda once enjoyed a magnetic appeal, but over time, it has been plagued with after-sales issues, and only the very die-hard enthusiasts kind of people have stuck to the brand. It has done very well with the Superb, which is the luxury sedan that Skoda has, and the Octavia has kept the fire burning alive with its fun-to-drive VRS variants. But the game is all about crossovers now, and on the face of it, the Kushaq seems to be doing a good job. It has got nice lines, well-sorted proportions, and there is a balanced sense of aggression and funkiness. And just generally, it has a very pleasing appeal. But one thing we all have to accept that it looks much smaller compared to the competition, that is against the Seltos or the Creta. This looks substantially smaller. Those have a visual impression which basically convey that they're much bigger when you compare it against the Kushaq. And in a passing glance, especially, you will feel that the Kushaq belongs to the subcompact category and not the mid-size crossover category. It is just a bit over 4.2 meters, but being based on the modular MQB platform does have its advantages, and inside, two tallish people can sit one behind the other with just about enough space to be comfortable. But fitting three in the back, that is going to be definitely a very tight affair. I find the front seats to be pretty okay. The whole equation with the cushioning and also the way the seats are shaped and designed, that's all very good, and this place should be a very nice and comfortable place when you're even doing long distance cruising. At the back though, the seat base could have been slightly larger, but otherwise the comfort factor is pretty okay, and even the recline of the seat is pretty good. But yes, again, because it is not a very long car, you do feel that there could have been a little bit more space that could have been liberated, and just that the seat base is not all that great. The cabin lacks that quality feel that one associates with Skoda cars. This one feels pretty average at best. Some plastics are hard, and you feel a little scratchy plastics here and there, and some fittings, especially all these kind of places, they're not really the best. And it's also the issues, very peculiar ones, like for example the noise that the windows make when you're operating them. Just listen to this. This is perhaps among the loudest that I have come to experience in any car, and this in this segment from a manufacturer like Skoda is really not expected. And while the color contrasts in the cabin, they work really well, it's just about that general sense of sophistication that is lacking in the cabin. But the design is really smart, it is very well executed, and other than the AC controls being touch sensitive, which kind of makes you take the eye off the road and then operate the whole panel, apart from that, everything else just works very well. What is really impressive is the quality of the infotainment screen. It is responsive, the graphics are very sharp, and just the simplicity of it enhances the feel-good factor. On features, the Kushaq is intelligently spec'd. I'm not really going to say that it's at the same level with Hyundai or Kia or it offers everything that the Seltos or the Creta offers, but it has almost everything that you would really need. Even in the base trim, it comes with the entire battery of safety features like ESC, EBD and all the other things as well. And you also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but that's through a wired system. The higher you go in the variant level, it all becomes wireless. So it has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is really cool. There is also ventilated seats, which is a massive, massive bonus. And I like the look of the instrument cluster as well. It's very simple, straightforward. It's just that classic look. There's also a sunroof in the top variant, which we are driving right now. It's not a panoramic deal, so yeah, people are going to probably complain about that. It is quite small, but it's a subjective thing. Some people definitely like sunroofs, some people don't. And yeah, I think it's all to personal choices over there. Now the crucial bit, the way this thing drives. And the MQB architecture definitely has its pluses. The lateral rigidity of the Kushaq is great. It hardly exhibits any load shift as such. And even under sudden directional changes, it remains composed enough. On the rougher patches or broken, undulating kind of surfaces, they cause the suspension to feel slightly disturbed, but it's not really a deal breaker at all. In normal driving conditions, on normal roads, you will definitely appreciate the quality of the suspension a fair bit. And even the steering, it is light, it is accurate, not really brimming with feel as such, but that is hardly a surprise. 1 liter engine that we are driving, well, it is mated to a 6-speed torque converter. The engine makes about 114 bhp and 178 Newton meter of torque, which is spread across a very wide range. It comes in at about 1750 rpm and goes all the way till about 4500 rpm. So the crucial part of driving, which is technically the mid-range, you have ample amount of torque to pull you through, and that is a very good thing. Despite of this being a small engine, 3 cylinders only, this 178 Newton meter is not a bad figure at all. And perception issues around the engine being just 1 liter in capacity aside, it is not all that bad, come to think of it. It does lurk just slightly and you can feel that the engine is struggling sometimes, but for the most part, the response, the throttle rate, all that is something that you can perfectly live with. Now, in addition to ESC and EBD, which is basically stability control and brake force distribution, Kushaq also gets an electronic differential locking system, which should not be confused at all with a locking differential in 4x4s or off-road cars that you get. Here it is essentially about the torque compensation and the braking of inner wheels into a corner to maintain stability. It is not exactly torque vectoring, no, it's definitely torque splitting or the split management of torque along with braking assist. We have not really been able to push the Kushaq to the outer limits of its dynamic capabilities because we have not been in controlled environments, but it will be quite cool to evaluate what the electronic differential locking really feels like. So the application needs to be on a track or some controlled environment, and yeah, I think if we are able to get a hang of some sort of that condition, I would really like to throw this car around and just get a sense of how exactly does it work. So the Kushaq, it is visually definitely not imposing in size as compared to the rivals, but the space management on the inside is not too bad. The quality is not really the best, the cabin design is thankfully good, and the features list is also good enough. The suspension and the general pliancy feels sophisticated and the Kushaq drives pretty nicely. Would you straight away go and buy it? Maybe not, but you're 100% going to shortlist it especially if you have a nuclear family and you want to look beyond the obvious in the market.